on the great Jerry Reynolds. Jerry, my first question for you. How were you able to watch the Kings and the Chiefs Sunday night when they both were playing at the same time?
You know, it worked out better than I thought. I was pretty nervous about it because, got mostly Chiefs before the Kings game started. Then I really focused on the Chiefs and kind of on the Kings and then followed the Chiefs till halftime. And then after the half, I switched it because, the Kings were just kicking butt. That thing was a dead horse there. And so then I could focus on the Chiefs and to kind of encourage them to dunk one off the crossbars to get their win.
Yeah, they don't. You said the Kings kind of kick butt. The Chiefs, they win, but they don't do a lot of butt kicking on these games, do they?
Boy, they sure don't. And obviously, it's going to catch up with them sometime. Although I heard one of the ESPN geniuses talking about all the close games they've had. And that really when you have like 20 one-score games, that eventually it'll be 50-50. And I said, no, it won't. The better teams are going to win more one-score games than the bad teams. I mean, What planet have you been on?
The Jerrylytics say you're wrong, sir.
Yeah, really, that makes it's not a coin flip between good teams and bad teams. It never has been.
Oh, Jerry, man. Hey, I'm glad your team won. My team had a heartbreaker. The Eagles also a nail biter, excuse me, also. And so it looks like it's Eagles Chiefs on a collision course based on what I'm saying. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's what I'm saying.
I think it can be. If we get the Eagles wide receivers kind of keeping their yap closed a little bit and just keep it in house, I think everything will be fine for the Eagles.
All right. As far as the Kings go, Jer, what has stood out to you the most about the way the offense suddenly seems to be hitting on all cylinders?
It really is. The ball movement's been terrific. The spacing's better, the ball movement. And I really thought, too, against Utah, where Fox and Sabonis really didn't even seem to be concerned about their own offense till, just as the game went on, then, of course, put up good numbers. But I just think adding Monk to the starting lineup gives you another, guy can make a play, can get his own shot, and that just kind of helps everybody. And then to Herter's credit, he looked like the Herter of Atlanta days when he's coming off the bench and really being a factor.
Yeah, let's speak about Kevin Herter, Jerry. Is it just becoming comfortable with that role that you're seeing from Herter? What have you noticed last few games from him?
Well, I think comfort has a lot to do with it. It did seem like he got better shots. Now, why that was, I don't know. Obviously, Utah doesn't present a great deal of defense, but I think sometimes for guys coming off the bench, they're going against some more second-line guys and maybe haven't been and they're not focused on scouting as much. And so sometimes that helps guys. So, but maybe then the other part, just as simple as he's played years, and had a lot of success in Atlanta, coming off the bench. So maybe that's it.
Mm-hmm. Jared, Mike Brown says the Kings need to be more methodical. How important is that? And do you think this team has that in them?
Well, they've got to be able to go possession after possession after possession after possession after possession. But I think they just have to do, what they do. Make sure you're moving the ball and getting good shots. It's not that they don't. Everybody wants good shots, but I think we saw them kind of when they're more struggling offensively, kind of forcing a few things. They were missing some open shots, but they were taking some tough shots too. So it'd be hard to even find a tough shot they took the last couple of games.
Hey, Jerry, they're in the midst of this one game in 1 week stretch. It seems like they've been clicking these last couple of games. As a coach, how do you keep guys sharp? Are you working them hard? You focusing on conditioning? How would you approach this week if you're Mike Brown?
Yeah, well, I think it's a great time to work them pretty hard. I mean, not saying you work them long, but you work them hard. Because he's got some ideas and several things that he likes what he's seen lately, and really focus on those things. Try to get better at what you're good at, type thing. And so I think it's coming at a good time. I mean, a lot of times you say, well, they're really playing good, but I mean, the time off, they've had a lot of games and little dings and this, that, and the other, and so they can focus on a few things to get better. And I'll be surprised if they don't come out against New Orleans and really, really play well.
Coach, I made this comment a while ago. I'm wondering what you think of it. It's funny. We have this in-season tournament. We know how you feel about that, and it's designed to make some of these November, December games more meaningful. But the West is so, competitive. These games are about as meaningful as December games have ever been, aren't they?
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, when you look at it, and I check the standings every day, and really, Oklahoma City and Dallas look like they're pretty well set, and maybe Memphis and Houston. So they look a little more solid, but really, when you're looking at the fifth spot, regardless of that's wide open. And certainly the Kings could feel like they've got just as good a chance as anybody at that spot. And it's going to be that way. And of course, some of the teams maybe that are better now will have maybe struggle a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, this thing is wide open. And like I say, this in-season tournament. Is it still going on?
Yeah. I know, right? They play again tonight, Jerry. Hey, what do the Kings need, man? Like, I feel like these last couple of games, the sense of urgency to make a move seems to have quieted down a little bit, but we know this team still isn't there yet. Where do you see some holes with this squad right now?
Well, I think, we've talked about it so much. I mean, length, certainly at the wings, and, a power guy. And, I listen to you guys. I mean, a Herb Jones would solve most of the problems, that sort of thing, because, I think that's the danger is you kind of playing better, and you get to thinking, well, we're okay. Well, I don't think you are. I mean, I still think you have the same needs, and I think they know that. It's just, you hope you can mix and match, and Coach Brown's doing a great job, finding guys, Isaac Jones is giving them real lift at times and finding guys, and you're waiting for Carter and all that, but still, a little more size and athleticism and, it's like you guys mentioned, and Herb Jones, of course. I think John Collins. I'm just amazed how well he's playing, and probably his price just went up double from what it was probably during the summer. But there's guys out there, and I think the Kings really should make a move to try to get some more size and length.
Jerry, we know that you coached Danny Ainge. Can't you talk to him and get some kind of sweetheart deal for the Kings, for John Collins? You guys are very close, weren't you?
We have a good relationship, and I wouldn't trust him any further than I could throw him. I know Danny.
Yeah.
And so, no, I wouldn't have it if I were Monty McNair. I'd be very, very skeptical. Let's put it that way. You just kind of go in there and just say, now, Danny, I know you're going to insult me, so just get it over with early on.
The Kings have two guys who've been great finishers. We know that. They still appear to be struggling at times when, at the end of close games. Is that something that they're still figuring things out with this group?
I kind of think so. What I mean? They're both terrific generally at finishing, and they're both unselfish guys, and they seem like I still think they're sorting it out. Should I do this or should he do that? And not wanting to step on each other's toes, and they got to get past that and just go do what they do. They're both darn near unguardable. They're going to get good shots, and so it's a nice problem to have. But I really do. I sense that there's almost too much unselfishness with those guys, and they don't want to step on each other's toes. Well, go step on some toes. Go do what you do.
Mm. Hey, Jerry, they got a big game coming up on Thursday, trying to exercise some demons with the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans is banged up. But does that even matter? I get the sense New Orleans probably comes into this game thinking, all right, we got the Kings. This is a team we own. We could get this one. Just tell me about this matchup and having lost 6 in a row last season to these guys.
Well, there is some payback due, as you know, Kyle. I mean, you can't beat these guys bad enough, long enough, as far as I'm concerned, and the team ought to feel that way. And you might, Coach Brown probably won't have to remind him, but he probably ought to. They're banged up, but they still got some quality players. McCollum is back, and DeJounte Murray's trying to find his way. Now Ingram is, as usual, is probably not going to be available, and so all that. But if I'm the Kings, I don't care who you trot out there. We owe you a beating.
Does this Kings team need to have a balanced attack to be at its very best? We've seen De'Aaron Fox have some tremendous games. If there's a void there, he can fill it. But does this team need to have a more democratic approach if they're going to be at their best?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think you've got, certainly with DeRozan, Fox, and now Monk. I mean, and Sabonis. I mean, you got 4 guys that are capable of averaging 20 points a game. Now, that's not likely going to happen. But the best chance the Kings have got to win and consistently is really being terrific offensively, and they've got guys that can do it. So, but I like, in my mind, De'Aaron obviously is capable of scoring 30 a game, but he might be better, and the team might be better at 25, and same way with DeRozan. Instead of maybe being a 25-point a game guy, maybe the team's better with him at 22, but making sure Monk and Sabonis and then Keegan gets going in the bench. So whatever it takes to get you to your 120-some game, which is really almost what they need to be getting.
Jerry,
that was a shot at their defense, by the way.
Oh, was it a shot? All right.
Right? 120. I don't see the bad boy Pistons there, fellas.
Oh, they not locking them down like that, Jerry.
I don't believe they are.
Jerry, they're coming off 2 nice wins. Obviously, everything's seemed to be clicking these last couple of games. How much of that is who this team is right now, or is it because of the competition? Do we need to still see more from this Kings team to be, all right, we're a believer now?
Oh, we need to see more. There's no question. I mean, certainly they played well. The competition wasn't that strong, but they did what they needed to do, and that's what really counts. But, I think there's a constant and they know that if they want to really contend in the West and get one of those top 6 spots, they've got to play better and play better consistently, especially at home. And that, even with the New Orleans coming in, that needs to be reminded. It's a home game, fellas, and we're supposed to win all of these.
Jerry, we appreciate it. I hope you're having a merry holiday season, and we'll talk to you next week.
Well, I am. Just talking to you guys perks me up a little bit, so I feel pretty good. And and hey, by the way, Whitey, your Niners played good.
Still in it, Jerry.
Don't count them out yet.
The heart is still beating, just barely.
But there's a little tiny thump going on in there.
Right. All right, we'll talk to you. Thank you.
See you guys.
All right, Jerry.
Take it easy. With all this talk of potential trades, at some point, I would respect